Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill, recording from a cell phone this time. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight, we have Thomas the Train Petersen, who just ran through an opponent in spectacular fashion at the last LFA event. But before we get started, we're going to go over our sponsors for the 2021. How you doing tonight, Thomas?
Where's TJ's mom?
She didn't pay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I need that money. Nobody's affecting everybody.
I only feel comfortable saying this because she doesn't watch it, but Rihanna made a song called Bitch Better Have My Money. So.
She didn't have your money.
But yeah, but I guess before we even get started about the fight, I didn't even know you were fighting until a day before the fight happened. How long did you know that you were on the card, and how come you didn't tell me?
Well, I don't know. Like, it was weird. Like, everything's kind of hard right now getting fights. And whatever, Jeremy Bjork did a good job, and he got me on the main card on LFA 97. Just about a month, I knew. And then, like he said, like, it's kind of been hit or miss in the past, kind of. It was just tough. People would want to fight and then would back out or get COVID or something dumb would happen, right? So Jeremy said that there's a 98% chance you're fighting. So, whatever. So I took the time off work. We had to take 3 days off of work, so I had to fly down to Kansas Wednesday and get COVID tested or whatever. And then Thursday you had a quarantine, and then Friday you fought. And so, which is a long time, for people that are, we're not getting paid super big or nothing. You know what? Nobody really is. I feel like that. So obviously everyone has a normal not 9 to 5, but just a normal job, working at least 40 hours a week and then fighting, So it was kind of whatever. It was worth it. It was worth it in the end to go and do it. But, so I knew for about a month.
Yeah, so the fight week obviously paid off. There's a little bit of a not hiccup, but just obstacles that you have to go through. That seems to be the age to go through nowadays. But speaking of obstacles, what was that month of training like? I mean, obviously in Minnesota here, stuff didn't open back up until, maybe 2 weeks before your fight, I think, with the timeline here. So, like, what was training like, and what were you able to do leading up to this fight?
We were able to train, me and James D at Delico at work. We worked out outside.
Nice.
And we put, like, the heavy bag on the tree and, really went old, like, Rocky Russian,
Yeah.
Russian, completely COVID safe. And we got it in. We got the work in, and we figured it out. I got in shape, and D was a very big help with that at work, Jim. He did a great job of getting me back in shape, and we jumped through the hoops.
Yeah. Well, all the time it took you to get into shape, the month of training leading up to the fight, didn't take you much time. As Steve mentioned before we started recording, a 19-second knockout, the fastest in heavyweight LFA history, is I believe that's the what they were saying. TJ, correct me if I'm wrong.
I've seen it on the internet, so it's real, bro.
Absolutely, 100% real. No, like we were kind of saying, I don't know. I guess LFA or whatever posted it or something, but whatever. I was in shape. I was in shape to go 15 minutes, no doubt in my mind. I'm not mad, especially a pro. You want to get in and get out, get paid, get laid. Just kidding, but it's always good, especially at this level, to have quick fights. The less mileage, the better. It's kind of what I think. Especially if you go to work the next day, with a broken hand or something. Everybody's got to go to work on Monday. So
okay. I'm sorry, TJ. I'm just you mentioned this off camera, but the not pursuing any follow-up strikes afterwards, is that something that was going through your mind? The fact that this man has a job too. You know, we don't need to. Why take the extra damage if we don't have to?
I don't. It's killer if he killed in there, absolutely. Like that doesn't cross my mind at the time, you know. But when somebody, I don't like kicking somebody when they're down, and that guy was sleeping, so I was, you know, his eyes rolled back, and you know, I'm sure both you guys seen or been in that moment where you done that to somebody, or maybe it happened to you. Like, I know, and everybody's doing this game, and I just figured that there's no point to, you know, follow up when that happened. If the ref didn't pull me off, I would have had to, though. That's just the name of the game. And maybe if I want to follow up and the ref want to stop me, maybe that guy came back and kicked my ass. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, you start to be a nice guy in this game, it can bite you in the ass pretty quick, you know. So
Yeah.
Kind of I don't know. I felt like I did the right thing, but maybe one day that could be the wrong thing.
I totally respect your answer, dude. You made the right decision. Obviously, it worked out for you. But then taking those other things in consideration, you saying being a nice guy might backfire one day, but you are a vicious killer, you know, and you knew the job was done as well. We've all seen the Mark Hunt walk-off knockouts. I'm a big fan of those. When you know the job's done, it's time to celebrate now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, and it worked out, you know. Like you said, it worked out that time, but it bit me in the ass a couple times being a nice guy when in wrestling back in the day where you know, we'd be in a dog fight and then he would get hurt, and then I would feel bad about going after what they're hurt. Let's say their elbow popped out for a second, you know, and I kind of feel bad at going after that elbow, but then realizing that in opposite positions, we both signed up to wrestle, we both signed up to fight. If that guy can't perform, he shouldn't be out here. You know, and that's what I kind of was a very hard lesson for me to learn, because I might have lost a match or a few like that just by being a nice guy and going, oh, he's hurt, you know. But fuck, when somebody's hurt, you just like a shark, you should smell blood, you know. You should be wanting him to say, oh, my arm is hurt, I need to get out of here. You know, I can't perform against this guy. There's no way I can hold him off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And you did exactly what you had to do. Like you said, you punched him until the referee stopped the fight. Luckily for him, the referee got there pretty quick on this one. And the beautiful thing, like you said, in a professional fight especially, you don't get paid by the minute. You don't get paid by the punch thrown. You threw one punch and got the same paycheck that you got that you would have fought for 15 minutes. So I tip my hat to it.
Yeah.
Going into the fight, I mean, obviously looking back on it for one punch, you could say, oh yeah, the plan was to just, you know, knock him out on the feet. But what was the plan going into the fight? Because like you said, you've been working a lot at work, and I want to talk about that a little bit, because I mean, everybody in the Twin Cities, if you're in the fight game, you know that this gym is taking over the Twin Cities. There's a lot of guys working there. What was the game plan going into this fight?
I don't have a game plan. I go in there and try to fight. You know, I feel like I've been saying that since day one. If a guy comes forward, I react to. I know that's kind of a bad habit, but it depends what a guy's giving to you. Like if a guy's coming forward to me, the shot opens up a lot better. If a guy is walking away, you know, kind of backpedaling and kind of trying to create distance all the time, you know, it's hard to shoot when somebody's running back. So, you know, I just figured out, take it what it is. If he's backing up with his hands down, I'm probably going to strike, you know, because he's thinking I'm only a wrestler. And, yeah, that work, Mo and Delico do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of strength and conditioning stuff, and they do reaction like strength, like I forgot what the word's called, but for like just quick punches and like quick explosive movement, twitch muscles.
Fast twitch.
They do a really good job of training those, and that's what I think is like really needed in this fight game. You know, you don't want to be a big bulky guy walking around. You want to be able to move.
Yeah.
And so whatever, I feel like they're doing a good job over there, and like I said, I don't have a game plan. Like I walk out in that cage and I feel like I'm facing a world champ every time I walk out there and fight somebody, just to not underestimate them. I'm gonna come in and fight, and I'm gonna do my best, and we're gonna see what happens. You know, I want to fight for 15 minutes. I'm willing to fight for 15 minutes, but I don't want to fight that long if I don't have to, but I'm willing to go that distance,
Okay. Well, that just made me think of something, your answer. You don't really have a game plan, but you as a professional fighter now, you're kind of making a stamp. A bunch of people are paying attention to that last knockout, and there's some film on you now. What do you think your opponent's game plan is for you when they're knowing that they're about to fight Thomas the Train Petersen? Do you think that they know a lot about your wrestling background? What do you think they expect from you?
I think it's hard not to. If you Google my name, a lot of wrestling stuff comes up. Not saying that I was a great wrestler or nothing, but just I've wrestled my whole life, and so I think that comes up. So I think that, and they're probably right that they should be more afraid of my wrestling than they're in my ground techniques more than my striking, which I think that is my weakest link. But we're working on that. It's hard to make up for 20 years of wrestling and combat on the ground compared to 2 years of striking. So that's my biggest weakness is my striking. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm working my ass off to really get better at that. And I feel comfortable in the box. Like I was training with some guys at the Striking Institute too. I kind of, when everything opened back up, I sparred with a couple of their guys, and some of them guys are Pride fighters, and Pride kickboxing scene fighters. And some of them boys don't know how to fight, don't want to throw hands. And so I put myself into some, nasty situations against guys that are a lot more talented than me in striking. And, I'm always trying to get better.
Yeah.
So,
getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I try to get, beat up the most I can during practice and then come out and make quick work on fight day,
Oh, yeah.
Try to face your toughest opposition in practice.
Yeah, well, that's the norm. I mean, that's what every great coach should say. The hardest the fight should be is in practice. Should always be harder there. Granted, you shouldn't be taking the harder shots there. So anybody who hears me say that, don't try to throw things back at me because I'm totally against hard sparring. But it should always be harder in the gym. Train hard, fight easy. We all know that expression, but I guess going into this next one, have you heard anything about a next one? Have you been planning on it? Where do you see yourself in the next few months, fight-wise?
I want to get 3 fights this year still, 3 more fights. And me and Jeremy and my wife are going to have a dinner, hopefully, Jeremy Bjorg, this weekend to try to line up another one. And it's probably going to be in Kansas or South Dakota again, obviously. And so that's the plan. I want to get on the horse and I want to see how far, I want to ride it until I fall off, So we'll see what happens. I guess I'll let you guys know right when I know, though.
Yeah. So, I would really appreciate it. You have no idea how ashamed of myself I was when, he's fighting tomorrow? And then me and TJ were both messaging each other, and then TJ told me, he's like, oh, yeah, I just found out. I'm like, and you didn't fucking tell me? You fucking...
It was one of those things that happened so quick, but I'd love to hear like you're saying that, because I remember talking to you, and you obviously made your debut as a pro right as 2019 ended, so right as the normal world decided to take a break. So you couldn't ask for a weirder time to take that jump into the pro ranks, but you were. So we got a guest here. We got you couldn't ask for a bigger time to make that jump. So looking to stay active this year. I love that. He's asking about the train, so he knows who we're talking to. But what I was getting to is looking to stay active this year. Being 25 years old as a heavyweight, looking at like the broader scale, at the highest level, it seems like the heavyweights are all older guys. Do you feel like time is just of the essence where you're at in your career here and there's no point in rushing it? Or are you looking just to take the toughest challenges you can get?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because some of them guys that are standing pretty high, they don't want to fight you. They don't want to. The guys that are 10-1 don't want to fight a guy that's 3-0. That are trying to make it. So there's a point where you got to climb. You got to play the game, as one would say. You got to fight guys in your range, and then you got to keep going up and up. So I kind of get how it's played, but I want to get up there as soon as it's possible, you know. So I'm just whatever. I take the fights, and I want to, by 2022, I want to at least have a shot at a big organization, you know. Not that LFA isn't big, but you know, like UFC or Bellator, you know, would be freaking, that'd be the dream, you know. But we'll see what happens.
Myself and TJ were talking privately when we had set up the interview. We're kind of thinking, and we're not. I don't know. We're not managers. We're not agents. We're not directors of people's careers at all. But something that seems like it's going to be a pretty good option, or at least a possibility for you, is the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? And has Bjornberg talked to you about that at all? And is that something that you could see yourself doing?
Yeah, I would love to. But we talked about it. We want to have 2 more fights before that. Is kind of what I'm thinking. You know, it's that.
Yeah.
What? You cut out there a little bit, Damien.
Sorry, I was just tapping my head saying you're smart. That was, yeah.
Well, yeah, that Bjornberg he's been in a little bit. You know, he knows how this shit goes. So I'm listening to him. He's never done me wrong. So I think he's a great guy, and I like him, and I trust him. So so we'll just see how it goes, you know. And I think I would have been there by now if COVID would have really happened. I think I would have. So, you know, a couple more months and we'll see, you know.
Yeah. Well, sorry, TJ.
No, I say I love that mindset. I mean, especially at heavyweight, it's so hard to find good competition that I feel like heavyweights especially get rushed. So I love that mindset. Like you said, Jeremy's been around the game for, literally years. So, he definitely knows that. So I love that you're taking that pace here, going to take these next couple fights. And, you keep lining them up and you keep putting them down, they're going to be calling you before you call them. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, so we'll just see what happens. We'll play it by ear, I guess, and then just be another thing is I want to be ready to go. You know, I'm only taking a week off here, and then I'm going to get back into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, I can't wait to see what's next, and I can't wait to hear from you. Make sure I hear from you. But you know how we like to do before we wrap this up. Like to give you a platform to thank any sponsors, teammates, family, anybody like that.
Well, I always want to thank my wife. She's great. But then I actually got I got a couple new sponsors this time around. I got Crest Exteriors stationed in Farmington, and then Rygon Trucking, and also Custom Hose, and I think they're stationed in Prior Lake. And Hank, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Tobler, a very nice realtor that is really good family friends with one of my best friends. So a lot of good people really are coming out and sponsoring me, and I love it. I love all the love. I love all the people buying our shirts and making training a little bit easier. You know, taking all the payments off of that. And I just love all the support, man. You should have seen. I couldn't believe how much support I got for that fight. For how many people were surprised and excited and watching it. So that's cool. It's a cool thing to be a part of. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I love it. If you're watching this, go support those businesses because they're supporting Thomas. And finding support at the lowest level is hard.
Oh yeah.
I love that you got those people around you, man. And I'm excited to see what's next. Like I said, it was one punch. We didn't even get to see you fight. I'm looking forward to seeing you fight.
Yeah.
You can't be mad about one punch, though.
No.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I got really bad. Oh, like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ. Don't be a hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.